It's hot coffee. Yo, what's going on? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, May 23rd, 2004. 2324. That's an auspicious thing, right? If you're into that. Yeah, man, guys, I am covered in bug bites. Yesterday, I went to my daughter's softball game, and me and my other daughter were sitting underneath. We had our bag chairs, and we were sitting underneath the tree, and like all these bugs kept crawling all over us. They weren't mosquitoes. I don't know what they were, but I don't know if those bugs were biting me or what, but I've got bug bites all over today. Although I've had bug bites like all week. Earlier in the week, I had to poop in the woods, and where I had to poop in the woods, I wasn't sure if there was poison oak or poison ivy. I don't know what poison oak looks like, and I only kind of know what poison ivy looks like. And I've been just itchy, mostly on my ankles, but I think I have bug bites down there too. But I'm just itchy everywhere, guys. Sorry. Ooh, it's that time of year, I guess. You know what I mean? I just got bug bites. Everything's itchy. But anyway, hopefully you got bug bites. Let's say hi to everyone, because you know what? I'm all off because I got all itchy. But there's nothing to unbox today. I'm gonna unbox zero. I have a package, but I can't show it to you. It's super, super secret embargo. There's an NDA involved. That's all I can say. I probably just broke the NDA by saying there's an NDA. But anyway, so today we're gonna play some trivia. Track trivia. Normally we don't have track trivia, but there was a lot of action last weekend. I kind of felt like I should have been at least at something, but I was just so tired after being at Camp Strava. I was happy to be home. I did watch some of it, not all of it, but I have some fun questions that I think we can go over today, and we'll play that. But before we do that, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio-only version on the podcast. Hopefully having a good run. Today I had a workout today. I'm easing back into workouts. So I had a longer tempo session, though, 2 times 12 minutes. Yeah, and Sage and Sandy have been switching it up. So at least so far, things are just in terms of efforts and not paces, which I like, especially coming back off of a big race. So that was good, but I was tired. It was a lot of hard work. So hopefully, if you're listening to this and working hard, actually, if you're listening to this and working hard, maybe you should switch. I would recommend switching over to a music playlist, and then you can come back to this on the cool down. So hopefully, welcome back from your workout. Hopefully, I think it went well. I thought it was a good one. I think you did a good job. Now enjoy this for your cool down. And everyone watching this later but not live, this is the #1 place to learn about things where I'm not actually going to talk about things. You know, NDAs and such. Yeah, Calvin says it's an NDA and an embargo, a tech product. You guys, I can't tell you. You know. Stevie76 says I'm going to be the NDA. Uh-oh. Sean says the audio's off. I think I know what it is. Oh boy. All right. How's the audio now? Audio better? Sorry about that. This thing, every time I have to change it. All right, but now the audio should be better. All right. Daniel Burton says, I got a track workout plan for Friday. All right, there you go. Yeah, I don't, you know, we're gearing up now for 5K, 10K training. I actually haven't signed up for any of the races yet. I should probably do that. But I don't think either of these races are going to sell out. So I think that should be okay. Both of them are going to be, well, one's local, McHenry County. The other one's going to be in Chicago. So if anyone wants to run the 10K, you know, I'll let you guys know. It's the Stan's Donut 10K. Anyone want to do that? End of July? I think it's just like July 27th. I think that's what we're going to do, you know? So yeah, if anyone wants to do that one. Yeah, but I haven't been on the track yet. That was my whole point. All right. Eliza says, you know, now I'm sympathy itchy. Is that like, can you do that? You know, I'm going to drive people crazy today because I'm itchy everywhere. I'm scratching. If you guys are watching, you could see me scratching. But I also feel like I have a sneeze coming on. So I'm like, man, the only other thing I need to do is yawn. And then it's just like the trifecta. All right. D0 Aperture Series. I finally made one this week. Good to see you. And Mark Peterson says, "Hey everyone, begrudgingly did 12 by 400 yesterday. My body hurts a little today, but less than I would have thought actually." Oh, everyone's getting on the track. Track summertime. I feel like it's easier to get on the track too, at least in the U.S. because the tracks in the U.S., they're usually associated with schools, high schools, sometimes colleges. At least ones that like the public can get on, and so it's like hard. I know a lot of tracks are open to the public. My high school was open to the public. There was always walkers and stuff in like lane 8. You know, um, and then the track in Dubuque where my wife went to high school, that one is open to the public. Although they don't like that it's open to the public, they try to like make it tricky by locking most of the gates. But that one's open to the public. But like I always feel weird about going to a high school track during the middle of the day. In the summer, there's no school, so I feel like it's easier. I don't know. Matt Byer says it's race night. Oh, you're doing a 10K today? A Thursday 10K? That sounds fun. Feeling ready to go fast in the 74-degree weather. What's good 10K racing weather? Is good marathon racing weather good 10K racing weather? So for 5K, I think I wouldn't mind being a little bit hotter. Not that I wouldn't mind. I think I'm okay being a little bit hotter than I would want for a marathon because you're moving fast. I don't know. Daniel Burton says the track I run on has a really nice bathroom and a clock and a bench. Oh boy. The track that I go to is at like a local college, and it's far though. It's really, really far. I spotted on the map the other day, there's another track. I don't know if it's at a middle school or I think it's at a middle school, but it looks from the map like it's a full-size track. So I'm gonna check it out. And it doesn't look like there's a fence around it. All the high schools around here seem to have fences around them, and at least the one that like my kids would eventually go to high school. I've been there before and it's way locked up. It's super locked up. So I don't know how to get onto that one. Okay. Calvin says, I have a high school track a half mile from our place. Haven't used it, but I'm 90% sure it's open to the public. Fingers crossed for the summer. You should definitely take advantage of that. Half a mile from your place, you should be using that all the time. Like there just aren't a lot of track. And that's the weird thing about it is there's a lot of pretty good running talent in the collar counties in the Chicagoland area. DuPage County, which is the county to the south of us and to the west of Cook County, where Chicago is. Like, there's a lot of really good runners that come out of there. A lot of really talented D2 runners. Because there's a college, I forget, is it College of DuPage? One of them is pretty good in the D2 scene. And so like a lot of local 5K races tend to get won in like, whoa, these times are fast for like a race that had like 100 people, and it's just like, oh, it was won by like a 22-year-old, probably a college runner. Matthias Ventas says there are 2 local high schools that just built new track facilities, but left their old facilities up. So those are 2 tracks. I can run on one while they keep the new ones locked up. Isn't that great? That's wonderful. I love it. Stevie76 says Kofuzi still has D2 eligibility. Well, I was Division 3 pole vaulter, and technically I have many seasons of eligibility left. I just would have to enroll in school, I guess. Can you imagine that? If I went back to, let's say I went to grad school and then tried to use up the rest of my Division 3 eligibility as a 44-year-old. It'd be like Big Daddy, but for Division 3 track and field. Not that I'd be able to keep up. I wouldn't be able to make any teams, but I just think that'd be funny. JC says, we use a high school track every Tuesday. It's open to anyone. That's nice. Vanessa Martinez says 21 Jump Street Kafuzi style. What am I supposed to like I'm breaking up a ring of like illegal like ADHD drug selling ring or something like that from the track team? Stevie76 says now that will be content. I don't know. Calvin says Coconut asked Adam Wood for dorm tips. He's pretty fresh out of college, so maybe. He's not. No, he's more than a year out of college at this point, right? Yeah, I don't know. He's been on for a little while. His wife's been running really well. Eric says like all the Ritalin is on the 4x400. Shannon says, hey, Co-fam, I see the sunscreen remains again. I hope it was a good run. Yeah, this sunscreen just does not absorb in and it doesn't go away. I mean, I sweated a lot on today's run too. Not terribly. It was hot, but not like crazy hot. But it was a good run. My legs definitely feel it. I'm still feeling, fatigue from like the last month from London Marathon. I don't know if it's still from London Marathon, but London Marathon and the 50K. Because like the first rep, 12-minute rep always kicks my butt. But the first rep felt fine. It was hard. And the second one like felt good for like about a minute. And then I was like, ooh, nope. And then I had to really pull it back. So, yeah. All right. Should we get to some trivia for today? Let's do some trivia. I feel like we need a sound for trivia, but we don't have a sound for trivia. All right. All right. Track and field trivia time. Some of these questions are about some of the track meets that happened over the weekend. Others about track in general. The first one is about track in general. Recently, we saw in the news that the track, the actual oval, for the Paris Olympics are completed, which is blowing my mind. Also, all the dorms and the housing for all the athletes in the athlete village is finished already. It's been finished for a while. Now the track is already completed. Like, I don't even know. This doesn't even feel like an Olympics. Usually there's so many like terrible stories. Like, like in Rio, they had to clean up the water. There was too much garbage in the water. So they couldn't do like that kayaking events. Although I think that the only like kind of controversy is that like the, they want to do some of the swimming events in the Seine, in the river there, but it's not clean enough. So I think that maybe that's one thing that's not ready yet. But all the athlete village is complete and the track is complete. The question is, what color is the track? So here, even if you don't know anything about track, you can probably just guess a color. You guys already knew. I didn't even ask the question. You guys already answered the question. Man. Patrick Smith already knew the color is purple. He had the answer typed out before I even asked you the question. Oh man, but it is purple. You know what the thing is? So I think it was Sidious Mag that I first saw to report that it was completed, and they had a photo of it completed. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's a nice blue track. So technically, Eric had the right answer, blue, but I've been told it's a purple track. And people are like, oh, it's such a vibrant purple. Which purple is the color of kings, I guess. So maybe is that why they did it? It's a nod to their former monarchy. I don't know. But the purple color looks nice. It's a very nice blue color for those of us who are colorblind. Patrick Smith says, sorry, sports photographer. I knew where you were going with that one. You know what's crazy though about that? So like they have the track, and then and Daniel Britton says it's my favorite color. They have the track, and then along the side of the track, basically along the side where the 100 meters would be, there's this extra wide, just blank purple spot that's there. And I'm like, oh, that's probably where like that machine that has the camera on the rail is going to be. But I'm like, and what else is going to be there? There's so much space between like lane 8 of the 100 meters on the track in Paris, and then like the first row of seats, which I felt like, is that normal? I'm not sure. We're already losing focus, guys. I don't know what's going on with this camera. I think we're gonna have to switch lenses so I could get closer to the camera. But anyway, like when I was in World Championships in Eugene, we were sitting along like we were like at kind of like 50 meters in from the at the 50 meter mark of the 100 meter dash. This focus is just getting worse and worse and worse as I go. Anyway, but like, and like when I was there for the 110 hurdles, like I could feel, and we were so close, I could feel the athletes go by. You know what I mean? It just felt so close. They still had like, they had that machine there. No, yeah, they did have the machine there in Eugene. And then in Budapest, I didn't get that close in Budapest, but I felt like people could get right up on it. You know, it was easy for people, as if people did a victory lap, the athletes did a victory lap, people could like hand their phones to the athletes and then the athletes would take a selfie with their phone, you know? I don't know if you're going to do that. You know, I don't know. So I'm a little bit concerned about, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the track setup there. People will be far away. Calvin says, I love purple. It comes in so many shades of blue. Purple and blue always confuse me. You know, the blue track in Jamaica, though, actually looked blue to me. That one was easy to spot. Sometimes I get it right. All right. Let's take on the topic of track and field. This year, World Athletics has announced that they are going to do something for the first time in the history of the Olympics for track and field. They're going to pay the winners. Track and field has notoriously been one of those sports where, like, you know, it's only pure if it's amateurs, which is problematic and has been always been problematic on so many levels. This year, they're going to pay people. They've created a fund where they're going to give, I don't know if they're going to give silver and bronze medalists any money, but they're paying gold medalists money. How much does a gold medalist win from World Athletics for medaling in the Olympics? Anybody know? Richard Wilson says $10,000. Eliza says $2,000. Lee says $20,000. Frank says euros, 100 euros. Let's see who's the closest here. Calvin says it's $15,000 and you pay for your own drug test. Frank says it's going to be euros. The figure that I have is not in euros, unless I read the article too quickly. But if I recall, the number that I have is in dollars. So, I think without going over the closest, oh, someone has it exactly right. Scene Running has it. $50,000. The winner's going to get $50,000, like a 2-point-something million prize purse that World Athletics is setting aside. $50,000 for the gold medalists in each of the 48 track and field events. Isn't that wild? That's in addition to whatever your, you know, the country, your federation may pay, and separate, which is also separate from what your sponsor may pay as a bonus. But I feel like that's interesting. $50,000 for winning a gold medal at the Olympics in track and field. Track and field only. All right, let's get back to some. Let's get to now to some of the action that actually happened over the weekend. All right. Last weekend there was the Atlanta City Games. This is a track meet hosted in Atlanta, put on by Atlanta Track Club. And I was actually, I had a hard time finding any footage coverage of it, but Noah Lyles on his YouTube channel made a video. I started watching. I didn't get to finish it, but I was watching it while I was eating lunch today. And it was in Piedmont Park, which is where when you finish the 10K there on 4th of July, you finish and then you come down there, and that's where you get your T-shirt, and that's where like the post-race stuff is. So it was kind of weird because I was like, oh, I know exactly where that is. I'm like, I know 3 places in Atlanta, and that's one of them. But about this track meet, the Atlanta City Games, what distance did Noah Lyles set an American record at in the Atlanta City Games? What distance? You guys are all trying to guess my question. I think it's so funny. All right, you guys all knew this one. That's a good guess. because some of you guys were, because if it's no allows, you think it could be a 100, it could be a 200, or maybe he's trying to do something different. Maybe he's trying to do a 400. You know, you could see, could be, but I couldn't fool you guys. Richard Wilson again had the right answer right away. 150 meters. It's a weird distance. TGI Fridays also had it. Scene Running had it. Calvin had it. Calvin thinks it's a 1471. That's different than the number I had for his 150 meter race. The number that I saw was 1456, which is an American record, which is also weird that there's a record for the 150 meter distance. The world record was up by Usain Bolt. He had a 1435. 1435 for 150 meters. And you know what, guys? I know what you're thinking. So 150 meters, what do? Just start at the middle of the track on the curve for the 200? No. They just built a 100 meter straight, no curve, just a 150 meter straight for this race. Isn't that crazy? And it was one of those bouncy elevated ones. So it's basically they took kind of like an indoor track and put it in a park. I don't know if there was a downhill grade or not. That park does have, it's kind of in a bowl. So I could have been, I don't know. Do they have to check that kind of stuff for world record or American record eligibility? I think it's weird that I think it's weird that the 150 meter distance exists as a record eligible event. Because remember when I was in Germany, people were telling me they ran a road 800 meters. And even if they had broke any records there, it wouldn't count because the 800 meters on the road is not a recognized distance. But a 150 meter all straight track is? Yeah, Calvin says, I'm waiting for the 42.2 kilometers straight next. Can you imagine that? I you know what? I bet you Nike thought about it for the Breaking 2 project. Is it feasible? Can we make 42.2? Yeah. And Danny Burns said, yes, it was really cool. All right. Patrick says the answer before the next question asked is Keely Hodgkinson. That's a really good guess, but that's not. All right. Next question. All right. Next question is, we're going to go to the LA Grand Prix, which was also this last weekend. Elle St. Pierre, who is a 1,500 meter runner, but also is the 3,000 meter indoor world championship right now, which she won after recently giving birth. She ran an event at the LA Grand Prix. She said I don't want to say how much of a PB she said, but she said a PB in this distance. What event and what distance did she win? It put her on the number 5 all-time list for the U.S. Does anyone know? She's got range. She's a 1,500 meter runner. A lot of 1,500 meters this time of year running 800s. Sometimes they might go higher. Maybe she ran the 1,500. Calvin says the steeple. Can you imagine the steeple? I feel like she'd be so good at the steeple. Don't you think? But I think some of you guys watch these events. Yeah, Calvin says, how about the 22:07 Sydney McLaughlin Veroni ran in the 200? Yeah, she beat a lot of people. She beat a lot of people at that 200 meters. Frank says Elle St. Pierre ran the 250 meter. But I think Edgar the Hobby Jogger had it right. First, 5K. She ran a 14:34 in the 5K, which was a 24-second PR for her. Number 5 on the U.S. all-time list. It got her the Olympic standard and the win at the LA Grand Prix. So, I mean, that's just, she's unstoppable. She's unstoppable right now. So impressed. Yeah. Cosmoponical Michael says 211 laps around a 200 meter track is the marathon distance. Well, maybe I'll go to my kid's school and run that. Run 211 laps. All right. You guys had some funny guesses. Frank, when I said range, Frank said 4,000 meters. Calvin said range, so 5,000 meters. He had it right. Yeah. CV76 said shot put. Do you think she could throw shot? I wouldn't put anything past her at this point. I bet you she'd be good at the jab or disc, you know. Richard Wilson says, can't wait for Sydney versus Femke. I don't know. I feel like with the way Sydney's running, I mean, Femke is running really well. I mean, she had such a great meet in Budapest, aside from the fall, but she had such a great meet in Budapest. She's been winning like crazy on big stages. So it will be interesting to see for sure. But I don't know. I feel like Femke's got to have some answers. You know what I mean? I feel like she's the underdog right now. Of those two? Oh, I don't know. All right. Should we get to the last question? We're going through them quick today, but Shannon says she has to go soon, so we're going to try to get them through them today. All right. Let's go across the pond. We also had Night of the 10,000 PBs in the UK, which is a night of 10,000 meter races. We had some Americans over there. I think Kira D'Amato, according to Sidious Mag, Kira D'Amato was over there. Fiona O'Keefe was over there. I think Zach Panning was over there as well. My favorite thing about that is that they basically put a tent covered bar in lane 3 of the home stretch, so people would be right on the rail, kind of, and cheer on. And there's pyrotechnics, and it's just yelling at people, you know, to go fast while they're grinding it out 25 laps, you know. But here's the question. What do you guys you guys tell me what the question is. Gentleman's Triangle says Steph Bruce was there too. TJ Bryce says Philly Bowden was there. She was. I saw a video. Or I saw her get interviewed in videos like post race. I don't think I saw her video yet. I just watched her one race where she was like running with a group of people in camp. But all right. So here's my question. For the night of the 10,000 PBs, how many heats were there at that race? The event is just 10,000 meter races. How many heats were there? So like if you, let's say you're like, oh man, I got prime seat. I got a little ledge. I'm in lane 3. You know, I got a couple of beers. I'm ready for a night of racing. How long of a night of racing are you in for? Keep in mind, think about it. Like a heat of the 10,000 meters is going to be like about 30 minutes or so and change, you know. How many can you and then we'll have a follow-up question. How many heats would you want to watch of 10,000 meters? All right. Scene running. You've been watching a lot of track and field. You got that right answer every time. Shannon thinks there were 16 heats. That'd take 8 hours. You'd be there all day. You'd have to start out with mimosas and Bloody Marys and then just switch at some point in the day to beers. Frank thinks there were 7. Eliza says 6. Calvin says 8. But like I said, Scene Running had it right. There were 9 heats, at least according to Sidious Mag. I didn't watch any of them. But there are 9 heats of the night of the 10,000. That means you were there for a good 5 hours on the day, if you were there from beginning to end. Did anyone go? Did anyone in the chat go to this event? I'd like to go. And like every year, like I've seen Philly's video, like she's made a couple of videos over the years, I feel like, over this event. Ben is Running makes videos about the event. The Distance Project guys, they made a video. Fleury Gearson, one of my favorite YouTubers right now, he made a video. I haven't had a chance to watch that one yet. We talked about it yesterday. I've got a bunch of videos that I kind of want to watch, but I just don't want to watch right away. I'm saving them for something. I don't know. But anyway, a lot of people made videos, and it's just like, it looks so fun. It's like the exact, like, kind of very niche event that I would love. But 9 heats? It's just so long. Oh, man. All right. Scene Running says, you know what? We both read the Cities Mag and Laugh Count newsletter. That's what it is. It was a good one this week. You know, so I think you're right. I think that's what's happening. All right, that's gonna be it for trivia for today, guys. Thanks for playing. Hopefully that was fun. Yeah. Oh, Matt Barr says Alex Felitti made a video of the event as well. Yeah, I do want to go. No, I mean, no one's ever inviting me to go. I guess I should just go. Paul Paulo says the Distance Project video was good. Okay. Is he still pretty hurt? Or what? Like, how's his Achilles doing? They were talking about it on Coffee Club podcast the other day. Because was it who was in the heat with him when his Achilles was like stepped on and then ripped? You know. Anyway. Gender and Triangle says, I think Walsh Runner has run it in the past. That makes sense. Has Andy been to it? Has Andy run it? I don't know. How fast do you have to be to run in that event? I mean, not that I'm going to try to run, but I feel like Andy could probably get in there. No? I don't know. Matthias says, you know, you treat it like a kid's sport tournament. You dip in and out, then dip back in near the end. I mean, maybe that's the way to go. Is there food trucks? Do they do that in the UK? Do they do that? Do you guys have food trucks? What will be like the food situation for something like that? I feel like it'd be just all doner kebabs. Is there a chippy? That, I mean, if you got like English beers and fish and chips, I'll stay there all 5 hours. Challenge accepted. Yeah. Daniel Brent wants to know, are there bands? You know, I just got to pay more. I think I got to pay more attention to some of these videos. I'm going to look around to see if people have food. Like in the US, you know, it'd be like that little plastic cup of those ultra yellow round tortilla chips. And then the little cup thing on the side for nacho cheese. Like that's what we would have, you know, for an event like that. It'd be sad. But I feel like in the UK, they'd be like, oi, we're going to get a chippy in here. And then have a pub bring in all the beers or something, you know? Paul Pollock says for the Distance Project, his Hoka teammates were in the A race. Oh, cool. Cool. I don't have to watch that. Calvin says, my Saturday long run has lapsed around a city playfield, and now kids soccer tournaments have started, weaving through parents, strollers, and kids add some race conditions to the run. That makes it fun. Cosmopino Michael says they need live commentators for the 10K heats. The ultra commentators talk for like 8 hours at least for each race. Yeah, you know what? Why didn't there was no comment? I'm gonna have to try and find a stream. Is there a stream for the Night of the 10,000 PBs? Because why didn't they have the guy that does Friday Night Under the Lights do it? That guy could talk forever. He probably knows everybody. You know. Gender and Triangle says, so is Tracksmith trying to do something similar to the Twilight 5000? If so, I can't say I'm mad about it. I think kind of. The Twilight 5000 series is more for amateurs. I mean, I know the Night of the 10,000 PBs is also for amateurs too, but like I could do the Twilight 5000. And last year or the year before, they did it as like a summer racing series where like each city would get 2. One would be at the beginning of the summer and one would be at the end. The idea being the first one is like kind of your baseline. You train all summer, then you run the 5,000 again at the event. It's in the evening, and everyone lines up and races just the same distance. The one in Minneapolis, like Ben Johnson ran it, and Dakota Lindworm ran it. I think they were in the same heat, and they were both going for about the same time, I think. So that was pretty fun. I'm like, oh, that didn't happen at the one. No, nothing cool like that happened at the one in Chicago that I'm aware of. I've never been to one. Summer ends up being a pretty busy time for me travel wise, for both for work and for home. And so I've always been gone from the way the Twilight 5000 goes. But yeah. Paul Public says, yes, there was a stream. On had one. I think I watched the European Athletics stream. Oh, that's cool. You know what they should have done? They should have had the Coffee Club boys do the live stream. Make them be on the mics for 4.5 hours. I feel like get the dog, get the boys, give them a bunch of coffees, and then have them announce. Because it would have been like what? It would have been in the afternoon here. So like that it was started in the morning or maybe at like lunch, and then ended, afternoon coffee time. That actually would have been pretty. I mean, I feel like a lot of people would have tuned in for that. Paul Public says there was a stunt athlete who hurtled through burning rings with knives. It was madness. I saw some clips of that. I forget whose video that was on where I saw that, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, they should do this for steeple. They should like if you have a water pit on one end of the track, I feel like on the other end of the track, the barrier should have fire on it. No, I feel like it's only fair. I feel like fire and water. It would make the water pit make a lot more sense, right? Which, by the way, like the steeplechase, like people are dropping. The U.S. women, everyone's getting hurt. It's wide open this year, isn't it? Right? I don't know. It makes me rethink like doing a steeplechase again. I'm like, I don't know if all these people are getting hurt during the steeplechase, and everyone that I know or that I've met who used to be a steeplechaser has no desire to be a steeplechaser anymore. You know? Eric says, Kofuzi, what's your next big thing again? Or do you have a bit of a break? Well, my next big thing will be Berlin. So that'll be my next. Well, before that, I'll be going to the Olympics to watch the marathons. I just got an email, like the agency that's booking the flights put me on an 11 o'clock flight on the Sunday of the women's marathon. And I'm like, can you book me a flight later in the day? And that person was like, well, you're going to have to connect it. I'm like, that's fine. I can't not watch the women's marathon. It's like, well, I'm going. But yeah, so that'll be like big, but that's not something I'm doing. The next big race I'll be doing is Berlin. But before then, and I'll tease it now. But things aren't final until they're final. But I'll be doing another summer tour. I'll be going to a bunch of different cities, and the cities have been changing, so that's why I don't want to say too many of them. But I'll be hitting, I think, 4 or 5 different cities leading up to the Olympics. So that'll be. It won't be any one big thing. It'll be 4 or 5 little things. I don't think I'm going to Denver, but maybe I'll be somewhere where you are. Jen Triangle says Alio is going to have a good shot, though. I think her odds, have gotten better. And, I'm always rooting for her. Daniel Brand says, hopefully Austrian will make the USA team. Yeah. Will that be Normal's first Olympian? I think it might. I don't know. Calvin says, hopefully you're back in the Pacific Northwest again. I don't know if I'm going back to Seattle. I don't think I'm going back to Seattle, but I'll be on the West Coast, I think. Anyway. Video says Kofuzi Olympic Torch Tour. They're never gonna let me. They wouldn't let me buy the Olympic torch. Should I just be a torch groupie though? Should I just follow it? You know what was weird? So they did the Olympic torch for Paris, and they had it like on a boat going from Athens to Paris. They had this like little fire in this little glass container so that it wouldn't blow out when they were on the Mediterranean. Did anyone see that? It looks so weird. I thought it was strange. Frank says, Australia doesn't actually have any chance, does she? She's barely under the trial standard. I mean, she'll have a chance at the race, but I mean, Emma Coburn's out. Who else just dropped out? She was a Nike athlete, right? She also dropped out because she like ripped her patellar tendon or something like that. Isn't that what it was? It sounds like an injury, that same injury that like Valerie Constantine, I can't say her last name, had. So like two of like the top contenders for the U.S. team are injured for the rest of the year, I think, right? So I feel like that opens up a lot of spots. And then I don't know how deep Americans women's steeplechasing goes after that. Yeah. Daniel Burton says, what does it mean if the flame goes out? I don't know. If the Olympic flame goes out on the torch, journey, I feel like if it goes out, someone just relights it quick, to be honest with you. But I'm like, let's say it became like a thing and it went out and like people saw it in a very public way. Like, would they have to go back to Athens and like relight it? You start over. It's like a hazing incident. You gotta like, oh, you're gonna have to start all over again. Oh, Jen Triumph says Courtney Frericks. Because Courtney Frericks is the one that's injured? I don't know. I have to check. Yeah, Hillary Thornton says, I don't think normal existed at the time of the last Olympics. Is normal that new? It's not, because the last Olympics was 2021. But I mean, they have trail athletes, so it's like, which one of them is going to be in the Olympics? Did you guys see the video that Allie made with we talked about it yesterday, the one she was running at Magnolia Road? That was nice. I like that. Richard Wilson says, for the Olympic torch, they have a backup flame in a vehicle along with people carrying it. Okay. So they don't have to go all the way back. Or if the main flame goes out, does then the backup flame become the flame? I don't know. Calvin says, the flame is lit. Connor calls for aid. That's so funny. Brittany says, the Olympics are canceled if the torch goes out. It's bad luck. That's funny. And super interested. There's the Olympic flame redundancy. Matt LeGrand is here. He says, Yoko, what's going on? What's going on, Matt? Good to see you. Let's see. Speaking of track, though, the pre-classic is this weekend. And I don't know. I just feel like, man, it's going to be a big deal. It looks pretty incredible. I feel like everyone's going to be there. Again, I feel like it's like, I don't really like going to Eugene. It's hard to get to from here. But it is a really great place to watch track. And like for this week, I just feel like it's going to be a really good meet. But you know what, though? I feel like if I watch it on TV, I'll probably get a better sense of what the action was. I get very distracted when I'm somewhere in real life. Not that I'm not watching when I'm at a race. I'm definitely watching. But it's just like you don't see everything that like a team of professional broadcast cameras can give you, Matt Anderson says, "Is Nagoose out of contention? You guys think? I think Yared's gonna have a really good day. I think Yared's gonna be top 3. No, you guys don't think so? I mean, I don't know. Daniel says Nagoose might win. I like Yared Nagoose. I like him a lot. Haley says, "All right." Google says Normal was founded in 2022. Oh, okay. So they haven't been around for an Olympic cycle yet. So if Allie makes the Olympic team, she'll be their first Olympian for sure. Unless does Normal have when was the last Winter Olympics? I don't even know. I follow the Winter Olympics so little. Daniel Estrella says Kerr or Ingebrigtsen. I like Kerr right now. I feel like Ingebrigtsen's. Is the guy really that chatty? Can he not help himself that much? I just feel like that kind of reeks of insecurity if you're being that chatty. I mean, I think it's ultimately good for the sport. I hope he wins, or at least beats Kerr because of. I don't know. I feel like Kerr is like reluctant. He's like participating in the banter, but he wants everyone to think he's reluctantly participating. I think he's having a good time, which is great. I want those guys to have a good time. You know, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Has Kerr raced? What has Kerr raced recently? I don't know. What has Jakob raced recently? I also don't know. Video says I'm rooting for Nagoose, but would bet Kerr or Whiteman. I'd like to see Whiteman what he can do. I don't think I've seen him race since his injury. Has he been racing? This can't be his first race back, right? Yeah, I don't know. So I'd love to see Whiteman have a good showing. I don't think it'll mean anything for Whiteman if he doesn't, win. I think Yared's got nothing but upside on this race, and I feel like that puts him in a kind of chill mindset, and I feel like that's going to help him. I think Jakob has put a lot of pressure on himself. I also think that's what he needs to win. And Kerr has been trying to stay out of the fray, but he's not. Okay. I think it's going to be Kerr. So I'll make my prediction now, and then that'll be it for today. I think it's going to be Kerr, Ingebrigtsen, Nagoose, Whiteman. I don't even know who else is in there. Is Cooper Tier in this one? I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's going to be those 4. Isn't it amazing that those 4 are in the same heat or in the same race? I think that's just amazing. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Matterson says Whiteman's been racing plenty in Australia. That's right. I did see that. Video says co with the trifecta bet. Yeah. Yeah. I would not. I would never bet on track and field. I just think I don't know. I don't know nearly enough. All right. I think it's going to be a good place to leave it for today. Oh, wait. There's a question. Okay, General Triangle says, okay, dumb question while I have the shoe brain trust. What does the VisiPro designation on Saucony shoes mean? Like VisiPro, Endorphin Pro 3? Isn't the Vis part mean high visibility? It's like reflective and stuff for being seen at night. Am I wrong? They also kind of make those shoes a little bit more weatherized too, right? Oh, Hobbs Kessler's in this race too. Oh, I forgot. Is he really? Did I forget about that? Yeah, video says Hobbs Kessler. He ran a good 800 the other day. Has he run a 1500 recently? Oh, and Calvin says halftime is going for the 10K OTQ. Ooh. Where am I going to be able to watch this pre-classic? It's gonna be on NBC, right? I'm gonna have to watch that. Matter says Craig Angle isn't gonna take it. I don't know about that one. I like Craig Angles, but I don't think he's gonna win. All right, that's gonna be it. We have a whole other live stream tomorrow where we can talk more about how I don't know that much about track and field. We can learn together. But let's see. Oh, I might have a Hoka video for you guys tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'll try. It doesn't look good though, but I'll try. But anyway, either way, I'll see you. Same time as today though. For tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central, we'll have another live stream. Till I see you then. Be safe out there, everybody.